Senior White House correspondent Letitia James. Letitia, we know that President Trump had a keen interest in these two cases. Has there been any reaction at the White House yet to this announcement?
John, as of right now, we have not heard from the White House or directly from President Trump, who, you're right, certainly expressed how he felt about these two cases in the days leading up to the indictments of both Comey and James. In fact, he posted on Truth Social on September 20th, just 5 days before Comey was indicted, and it seemed to be a direct message to Pam, meaning Pam Bondi, who is, of course, the Attorney General of the United States, in which Trump said he had reviewed over 30 statements and posts, saying that essentially same old story as last time, all talk, no action, nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Shifty Schiff, Letitia, question mark, question mark, question mark. They're all guilty as hell. And of course, he goes on to explain why he believes they are guilty, all of these people being his people that he considers to be political foes. And in the past, John, he has called for their prosecution, too. The reason why this particular post is notable is not only because the timing, but because there were questions later about whether the president meant to make them public or whether they were supposed to be a direct message to the Attorney General, which later he denied. So at this hour, we have not heard yet about Trump's reaction. But, John, you can imagine that it will be one of disappointment and frustration, since he has spent so much time claiming that the only reason that he himself was investigated by these two law enforcement officials was because of a witch hunt. That's according to Trump. John?
All right. Thank you so much, Letitia James, at the White House. Criminal defense attorney Caroline Polisi is with us on the phone. Caroline, your reaction to this determination by the judge?
Yeah, hi, John. I wanted to pick up something that Scott mentioned. This is not a complete victory for Comey, to be sure, because it was dismissed without prejudice. They were looking for a dismissal with prejudice. However, this is seriously going to set this prosecution. It's going to really derail the prosecution, and the person bringing this prosecution next, if they do, will not be likely Lindsey Halligan. The sixth finding in Judge Curry's order is that the power to appoint the interim U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia under the statute lies with the district court. Remember, this judge is sitting by designation from South Carolina, because the district in which the case is pending, all of those judges recused themselves, essentially, because that was the overarching issue in this appointment, whether that 120 days could effectively just be re-upped and re-upped by the president and Pam Bondi indefinitely for, essentially skirting the appointments clause. And so while it's not, a complete and total victory, I think this case is not going to go to trial anytime soon, not to mention the myriad of other substantive issues that are in this case that are pending before a different judge in this district regarding, the selective and vindictive prosecutions, issues with the warrants, a ton of ways this cookie could crumble.
Right. Caroline Polisi, thank you. I want to go back now to Scott MacFarlane. Scott, among any new information you may also have, remind us how, put in context, the idea of a president telling an attorney general who they should and should not charge.
A lot of people were eager to hear the arguments and the judge's opinion on this issue of vindictive prosecution. Last week, James Comey was in court, remarkable thing, arguing that this case was a political selective prosecution. That argument really isn't relevant anymore now that the case is dismissed. Not relevant to this case. But, John, there are any number of political critics of the president who fear they face the same prospect of a criminal prosecution because of their criticism. They might have wanted to have seen what a judge said about this issue of selective vindictive prosecution if they, too, get charged in the coming weeks and the coming months. As we just mentioned, John, there's another name on that September 20th social media post from President Trump. California Senator Adam Schiff, who CBS News has learned has hired a private attorney with the prospect he gets charged down the road as well. All of these defendants, all these people have denied any wrongdoing.
Scott MacFarlane, a major bend in the road here for the Trump Presidency and Justice Department as we learn the new rules under which both are operating. Once again, the federal indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James have just been dismissed. A judge ruled prosecutor Lindsay Halligan was improperly appointed. Our coverage will continue on CBS News 24/7, your local news, and tonight on the CBS Evening News. This has been a CBS News Special Report. I'm John Dickerson.
Hi, everyone. Tony Sadiq with an update on your first alert forecast. And we are loving this part of the weather story as we kick off this brand new week with some pretty tranquil and beautiful weather. Temperatures seasonable. We've got low 50s and it gets even warmer the next couple of days. So you can start to shed layers by Wednesday. We're in the mid 60s. First time we've done that in about 2 weeks. But it's not the pick of the week. That's today. I'll explain. It's low 50s for highs. It's brighter. It's seasonal. It's pleasant. Weather's dry, and that's the key. So we got rain on the way. Storm system organizing across the south. This will cause some problems and delays in this region. And then it swings to the north, and it's the Ohio Valley. And late tomorrow, it's us, the tri-state area, that could get in on some of that action. And while this is predominantly a rainmaker, there's another system at its heels and swings through, which could stir up the winds and really drives in a pretty blustery chill. That's how we end the week. So today, it's the best bet for travel. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we've got some showers in the area. No days of washout, but it is unsettled.